Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to my channel, and I'm hoping that everyone is having a really great day today. Today I will be providing brush swatches of the BeBe Exotic Eyes 24 Matte and Metallic Eyeshadow Set, and I recently did a tutorial using some of the shades from this palette, but I want to give you all an up-close view of each of the shades that are in this palette. Again, I purchased this palette from Burlington for $9.99, and I will be swatching those for you today. I will be using my Clean Sweep makeup brush pad that I purchased from TJ Maxx for $3.99. You can also purchase this at Marshall's as well, and I think for the same price. They have this shape for the Clean Sweep, and they also have a rectangular shape of this particular product. And I feel that it's really excellent. It's a good, affordable alternative, again, to the color switch that is sold at Sephora. So that is an alternative if you needed basically a makeup pad to change in between colors. So I will be using this between color swatches. And I will be also using my Morphe M408 brush to swatch the colors. I have no primer on my arm. Again, I do this to provide you all with the colors as they are shown in the palette, so you get to see firsthand what those colors look like before adding a primer. So let's go ahead and get started. So again, I want to show you what those shades look like in the palette. So again, they are jewel tone colors, and there are some neutrals. The first row has neutral shades, and the bottom row again has those some warm shades, or most on the cooler side. I will be swatching left to right for both the first row and the second row. So let's get started. So the first shade is more of a, I would say, it looks like a shimmer shade because it doesn't quite have a matte finish to it. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch that for you here. It has like a satiny feel. If it's a matte, then it has a very smooth application. So that is the first shade. I think it's a metallic though. So that is the first. I'm going to do these swatches a little bit smaller so I have room for each of the colors on my arm, so you can see that. The next shade is, I would think, like a more of a light gold, like a champagne type gold shade, and it has like a peachy undertone to it. So this is what it looks like. And I grab too much with my brush. So that was that color looks like. The next color is more of a, like a light bronzy gold color. I think the other colors, like, they have that champagne finish. This has more of a warmer, like, gold type finish. It matches my skin tone, so hopefully it appears. It looks like a sheen on my skin tone. But this is a metallic finish. And I do build up the colors just so you can see exactly how those colors will blend on your eye, or if you applied it in a more intense build. So that is that color. Smooth that one back out. That color is very pigmented. I'm just going to go back and build that first color up some, just so you all can see how you can build up the colors. The fourth shade is more of a matte finish, and it's like a warm, light, medium tan color. Definitely disappears into my skin tone. The next color is more, I would say, like a camel shade. It definitely has more of, I'd say more of an orange undertone. The other one has more of a brown. So this is definitely more warmer. The other one, the last one I swatched was more cooler, just slightly cooler. So this is the next shade to that. Hopefully y'all can see the colors. And this one is more lighter than the last two. But all three, if you have my skin tone, these colors will tend to look very nude against your skin tone. So they have different undertones to it. I would say this one, the third one I just swatched, has a undertone that's in between the first two. So that one's more light. The second one was more of a darker tan, like camel shade, but a like peachy brown undertone. And the first one, this one has more of a cooler undertone, but a medium brown undertone. This is more peachy, warm undertone, and this is definitely a light kind of undertone to it. Very light, like beige tan. So they have different spectrums. The next shade is a metallic, and it's more of a copper shade. This palette does not have any names to it. So that is the 7th shade in the first row. So those are the colors so far. The 8th color is more, I would say, like, not exactly cayenne, but It's that terracotta shade I love so much that I was talking about in the tutorial. I almost have like that brick red finish to it. There's that color. The next color is the 9th shade, and it is more of a dark tone chocolate shade. And you don't need a lot either. You can see, like, if you go in, you probably just need one layer. If you double dip, you're going to put a lot on your brush. So go lightly with these mattes. And that's that shade. Again, very beautiful color. Definitely for those with deeper skin tones would be great transition, like out of crease. I feel like this palette is for all skin tones. You could find something exactly up your alley in this palette. The next shade is the 10th shade, and it is a metallic, like I would say like a deep, almost like burgundy color, like a deep bronzy, like a cranberry bronze type metallic. And they put these, I noticed in the palette they align these colors. This is how I think a color story should look in a palette. Align these colors that will pair with each other. So if you go for a more deeper, neutral, smoky type eye, the last 6 colors will give that for you. The first 6 colors in the first row is more of a neutral, I would say like a daytime look, you just going to work. But the other half will give you that nighttime, you know, dramatic, smoky look. So you can see how beautiful the metallics are in this palette. The next one is a more of a deep bronze shade. So it definitely has a deep bronze undertone. Compared to this one, this is more of a lighter bronze. This is more of a deeper bronze shade. And I definitely think, like, if you have other palettes, like if you have Morphe palettes, if you have like the Urban Decay Naked Heat, and when I said Morphe, I was thinking like Jaclyn Hill palette, or any of the like the 3.5 like OF palette, the one that has more of the I would say like more of the shimmer type shades in it, because I think they have like a shimmer and a matte of the 350F, I think. If you have that palette, if you have the Urban Decay Naked Heat, there's a lot of palettes that have these tones in terms of a neutral palette. So you may not need this palette if you have these colors in your collections, because they can be found in other palettes. And the last shade is a nice cool, I would say like a nice cool brown shade, like a deep brown, almost mauve-y, but it has that brown undertone to it. And I like how this palette has multiple transition shades, or just those neutral, basically the neutral nude tones that can be used for any skin tone. You have it all in this row. It's just very pretty. So those are all 12 shades of the first row. So let's go ahead with the second row. This is definitely a palette that, if you're a beginner and you just want to experiment with neutral shades as well, having a palette for cool shade, this is a wonderful palette to start off with. This is also a good palette for also for the intermediate and also the advanced people who like to do makeup. Like, it's just an overall good, affordable palette, in my opinion. So let's start with the last row, first shade, which is this very deep, I call it mustard yellow shade. And I'm just going to line it underneath that first shade here. And they swatch so well without a primer. You can see that. So pretty. Add a little bit more to build up that color intensity. The next shade is a metallic finish, and is basically like a true gold shade. I think this is a formula that BeBe should keep for all their palettes that come out for the future, because it's just that good. Like, they really should just keep this formula. I've seen some of their palettes that have like petroleum and mineral oil. This one may have mineral oil, but I don't remember reading it. But this is a very good formula for them to continue to make their palettes in the future. The next shade is a more of a deeper, like, bronze shade, but it's on the cooler side. So it's almost like a blend of gold and bronze. Just look how beautiful the metallics just lay down against my skin. That is such a pretty color. That was the third shade. The next shade is a purple metallic. So that's a nice purple. So I did use that color in my tutorial. I used several colors in that tutorial. I used this color, this purple, this color here, this color. Like, I will use multiple colors. as many colors as I could fit on my eye to show you all. The next shade is a nice deep cobalt blue metallic shade. I'm telling you, I love this blue. I don't think my video showed the justice of how beautiful this blue is. So that is the blue shade. The next shade is I would say like a nice teal shade. It looks like it could have some gold reflex, but it is a metallic. It definitely has some gold flip inside of this shade. I'm building up the color so you can get a very good view of the colors. So that's that shade. The next shade is just so it's like an emerald green metallic shade. And I use this for my inner corner highlight in that tutorial. It definitely has like a frost kind of finish to it, as well as the one I swatched before it. It was very frosty. So that's that color. The next shade is a deep, dark forest green color. I use this for my outer crease shade, or they call it outer V. And it is a matte finish. And you can see how you have to build up that green. That green has a bit of patchy to it. So that's that shade. The next shade is a deep brown shade. Like your classic brown matte shade. This is very pigmented. Ooh! I love it when a matte just lays down. That is a nice deep brown shade. The next shade is a metallic, and it has more of a darker gold, like a very deep bronzy gold shade to it. And you see how they build a color story of the colors that would fit in that group. Like you have your golds and yellows here, you have your purples, you have your one little blue, but you could fit those blue purples together in that indigo violet family. You have your greens here. Now I'm showing you the browns. Same over here, you had your very cool light yellow champagne colors, your deep matte variation of matte nude shades. You have your red, orange family up here. So they build that story up, and it almost looks like basically a rainbow palette. It's very unique, very pretty, but you know, you can pick and find these colors in other palettes, but I think it's a very nice palette. And it does kind of remind me of like the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette in some ways, with some of the, you know, the deep jewel tones, that little pop of blue and purple, and that little aqua teal shade, with your mustard yellows and your cranberry type metallics, your terracotta type shades, your deep green. So that's definitely, you know, resembling kind of that color story. So that's why I was saying that if you have these shades already in your palette, you may not need this one, but this is a great alternative to have, that you can travel and do some of your eye looks with if you know you just need something small, because Jaclyn's palette is quite large, and on the average makeup purse, bag, trainer kit, whatever you're taking, you may not be able to take that with you. Unless you just, okay, I'm just going to fit it in my suitcase. And this is just giving an example. There's nothing against that particular palette. But because I know it's large, I have the Jaclyn Hill palette myself. You can't just quite just throw it easily. You'll have to put it in your suitcase, or you'll take on board travel bag or something. But this one is a smaller palette that could fit in a travel makeup bag. So it's just something to think about when you think about size and availability when you're traveling, and how much you can take, and just some thoughts. I know I'm going on a tangent, but I was just thinking of size and availability. So the next shade is more of a dark, almost like a smoky plum. Let's see if it's a smoky plum. It's definitely, yeah, has like that smoky plum undertone to it. So it's like smoky, a little bit patchy, like that army green. So with the deep shades, some of the deep shades, they have to work on that pigmentation, but you could build it up. And if you have a really good primer on your eye, you may not have problems with this shade. A great liner shade, you know, deepening up your outer V. You know, if you just want to go all smoky, you can make a really great all over the lid shade, because it definitely has like a plum undertone, not quite brown. That's that smoky color to it. And the next last shade, I think it's just like, I don't think it's a true black, at least it doesn't. It looks like a slate color, like a deep gray shade, but I'll be surprised if it is a deep black shade. So let's see. And this is the last shade. It looks like a smoky gray color. It probably is a black, but it looks like a cross between a deep gray and a black. But it's probably most likely a black shade, because you can't finish a rainbow without a nice black matte shade. So there we have it. All 24 shades that are in this palette. You all, I'm shook. I hadn't tested any of the other colors since that tutorial. Yeah, the colors got me shook. That whole color story, I'm shocked. The pigmentations are very good. This is an excellent BeBe palette. Excellent. It's just so stunning. If you see this palette in Burlington, pick it up. Get you one. Test it out. See if you like it. You know, if it's not up to your standard of makeup, you can always gift it to your family member or to a friend. But definitely pick up one and try it. I really like it. It is a beautiful palette. And I'm going to memorize the ingredients on this one, so when I am looking at other BeBe eyeshadow palettes, I can compare and see if they'll have the same performance and pigmentation as this one does, because I am in awe. I truly, truly love it. So let me bring it up closer to you in the viewfinder so I can show that finish to you all. Don't mind my commentary. I love talking through my videos. I know there are people out there may be like, just show us the swatches and be quiet, honey. But you know, I love talking in my videos, and especially when I'm thinking about the looks or if I'm doing swatches. You know, just to give you all some idea what you can do with these shadows. It is beautiful. Bring each row up close to you so you can see the finishes and how some of those colors look really nude on me. And got the beautiful jewel row down here. Just smoking up everything, just looking so radiant and so on fire and just so gorgeous. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Summer is here and it is going to be rocking. I actually was in Burlington twice this week, and I actually saw the lippies that would go to this particular eyeshadow set, and I thought about buying it. I'm still debating whether to go back and get it because this is just so freaking pretty. So yes, 24 mattes and metallics that are in this palette. So again, you know, I want to say thank you as always for watching this video. Hopefully you all have found it helpful to you. If you have this palette, let me know whether you like this palette. You know, have you bought it? Have you used it? Have you considered looks for it? Do you own other BeBe eyeshadow palettes? If you do, please list them below. Especially if you have favorite BeBe eyeshadow palettes. Let me know which ones you like, so if I see them in Burlington, I can check it out also. And I always like to get your feedback, you know. I like to know what you all are seeing in your Burlington, if you have one in your area or a store that's similar to a Burlington. And if you have come across these palettes, what you think be. Because you know what, I really like this palette. I knew when I looked inside of this palette that it was going to be something special. And I usually have a really good eye when I'm looking over shadows, the ones to check and basically to consider to buy, and also if I want to do tutorials with them, I can usually look at them and tell they're going to have a really good finish. And this one I looked at and I could say, yeah, I had a feeling it would be a really good finish. So here I am, all shook and, you know, just really feeling these swatches. I just can't get enough. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you found this helpful to you. And as always, thank you for tuning in and supporting my channel. And also take a look at that makeup tutorial that I did from this palette. I will list it in my cards so you can check out and look at it. And have a really good day, and I wish you the best. Until next time, I will see you all later. Bye.